Dr. Kennedy Graham, 5 minutes.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thought the first reading in this debate was fairly constructive, and not convinced the same can be said of the second. I think after dinner we've tended to demean ourselves a little in our excessive rhetoric. The choice of flag, one might have hoped, might have allowed us to transcend party politics and think about the national interest as a whole. Instead, we've tended to descend into rather small-minded party squabbling and the occasional exhibition of personal invective, and I think that's a shame. I think the choice of flag deserves more, and I think the people of New Zealand are hoping for more. I do want to acknowledge and thank a number of members of the House for their constructive comments, from National as well, John O'Naylor and Tim McIndoe particularly, Jackie Deans, Joe Goodhue, and not least Jonathan Young, who chaired the cross-party group with such skill, and I thank you for that as well. The same cannot be said of your leader of the evening, the Minister, the Honourable Bill English, who turned himself into a small creature this evening with his comments. I think it was unnecessary, and his comments.
The member referred to another member as a small creature. Previously, I was reprimanded for using the word courage. Surely, small creature is not parliamentary and not acceptable.
I've been referred to that many times since
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm happy to take the reprimand from Dennis O'Rourke, and do we conclude that Dennis O'Rourke will not, in fact, be voting for Red Peak, or perhaps we cannot put too much money on that? No, let me rephrase it, Mr. Speaker, that the comments from the Honourable Bill English, for whom I have had a high regard in the past, are characteristic of a small creature. His comments were difficult, disruptive, and occasionally dangerous to a constructive interpretation of a second reading. And I think he caused his party and this House some shame this evening. I want to acknowledge the comments of the Honourable Annette King and Grant Robertson, which I think were constructive. We disagree with the points that Labor are putting across, but we do respect the point made, and we understand where Labor are coming from in that respect. The same cannot be said of the Honourable Trevor Mallard, but it's not worth bothering to comment any further. Sir, we were and while we're covering the field on individuals, let me just pay tribute to my colleague Gareth Hughes, who has taken the initiative on this bill and conducted himself with dignity and, I think, integrity. And looking at the Honourable Bill English, the Honourable Trevor Mallard and myself, I think Gareth Hughes has something to teach us, a bit of a lesson to teach us in this respect tonight. So, just one substantive point. We were trying to get across, and still are tonight, the fact that two things. This Parliament is acting with constitutional propriety in changing the legislation that changes the process to choose this flag. It has the power to do it, it has the right to do it, and it's constitutionally proper. Second point is that whether the Parliament should do so or not is a political judgment, and in our view, the Green Party's view, it is a sound and wise political move to reflect the increasing will of the people. Not everybody, Mr. O'Rourke, and there may have been a few people who voted more than once, but that doesn't diminish the fact that there were about 50,000 people who moved for this flag. And that is overwhelming, Mr. O'Rourke. And let us see what Let us see which way it goes when the time comes. So in our view, it is up to this House, all MPs, as leaders elected by the people, to reflect the will of the people and bring in the fifth flag, move on to the referendum, and then we'll choose the flag from then on. Thank you.